So the first step in scheduling a meeting is to enter a basic meeting description, and that consists of a title to identify the meeting, where you're going to meet, which can either be a physical location or you can just say a conference call, how long you want to meet for, so in this case an hour, and a brief description about why you're getting together. You also want to fill out your caller name, because this gets put into the template email that gets sent out. And if you want, you can put in your own email address, which you might want to do if you lose your admin link, but it's not required. Once you've got the basic description down, you want to add some participants. And you're just going to just click the add button and keep adding until you're done. In this case, I've added 4 participants. And you can see that I've specified their names, and I've also specified their email addresses. Now, if your email client will resolve the names directly, then you don't need to specify the email. But it's generally recommended to fill in the email addresses that you're sending to, just to make sure that you actually send it to the right person. You'll also notice that there's a couple of different kinds of attendance. You can specify that someone is required, which means that you can't really meet without them, or preferred, which means that you'd like them to be there, but it's possible that you could meet even if they don't show up. You can also specify a quorum. So in this case, I've said that I need to have at least 3 people there to have the meeting. So that's once you're done with your participants, you want to put in a couple of possible meeting times. And in this case, what I've done is I've entered 3 sort of 1-hour time slots that I think are good. And then I've also entered a general block to say any time between 1 and 4. Now, when you enter a general time block like this, what you're actually doing is you're asking your participants to RSVP for every possible time within that block. So, can we meet at 1? Can we meet at 1:30? Can we meet at 2? Can we meet at 2:30, etc. So if it's up to you which is most appropriate, whether or not asking people to fill in several RSVP possible times is okay, or whether or not you want to minimize that. In this case, I've got a little bit of mix of both. When you click on one of these blocks, it pops up a calendar, and you can use these little spin dials next to the blocks to adjust the times, and the blocks themselves balance within each other to keep everything valid. Every time you add a new block, it defaults to either the next morning or the next afternoon, depending on what you entered previously. So that's about all it takes to get started. Your next step is to notify the participants. And you're going to do this in 2 steps and send 2 emails. The first is going to be to yourself, because you want to send yourself the admin link so that you can actually call the meeting by scheduling it. And then you want to send out email to your participants asking them to RSVP. I'll show you what the email looks like that gets sent to yourself. That one has 2 links. The first one highlighted here is the admin link for the meeting, and this is what you use to go and actually schedule the meeting once all the RSVPs are in. The second highlighted link here allows you to RSVP for other people. So if somebody gets back to you by phone, or they email you or text you or something, and they don't actually go to the site, you can still keep the process moving forward by filling in their RSVP information for them. The email that you send out to participants is pretty straightforward. It just says that you're looking to find a time to meet and to click the link to RSVP. When a participant comes into RSVP, they're going to land on the site and see, they're going to choose their name, so who they're RSVPing for or as, and then they're going to fill out their times, or how each time works for them. And this is not just a binary yes/no. You can specify that a time is good for you to meet, whether or not you're just available, so not great, but certainly okay. You can specify maybe, which means that you might be able to do it, but it's really not a great time. Or you can specify that no, which is simply you can't do it then. Being able to specify multiple levels of availability like this avoids a lot of scheduling delays and runarounds. And it also results in a more optimum time selection for everyone. So this is kind of one of the things that makes this really good. So once the Once you've sort of RSVP'd with this, you click the next button and you get a confirmation page saying this is when you RSVP'd for, thanks for responding, and that the organizer of the meeting will let you know when the meeting's scheduled. Now, you, the organizer, the person who called this, if you go in following that admin link that you sent yourself earlier, then you can sort of see what's going on with the scheduling at any time. So in this case, I'll show you what that screen looks like. So if you go in the admin screen, you see the scheduling, and you'll see it as it goes. So in this case, what we can see is that Mary and Roxanne have both responded, and that Chris and Daniel have not responded yet. But so far, it looks like Wednesday at 1 o'clock looks pretty good. In fact, if you could hear back from Chris that this was okay, then you'd be ready to just schedule this right now. So you have a couple options. One is that you can wait for Chris. Another option is that you can simply telephone to confirm Wednesday at 1 o'clock, and if that's okay, then you can go ahead and schedule it now just directly. So we're going to assume that Wednesday at 1 o'clock worked and select that. So in this case, there's a confirmation saying that, okay, this is when it's going to be scheduled for. And once you confirm the scheduling, you can't go back and change the times again. You can go back and change the description and add other details as needed, but the scheduling part of it will be done. So we click confirm, and then we get the little summary about when and where we're going to meet. And the link here is to notify your participants, letting them know that the meeting's been scheduled, and you simply click that and send out the email saying it's done, when you're going to meet, and where to go for additional details. That's it. Meeting scheduled.